All right, I want to welcome everyone to our live Saturday morning presentation. This is part 2 of this process of looking at the new Synergy customer website. We looked at it in some depth and detail last Saturday, and I got a bunch of questions from the people who are on, as well as from some other people who saw the recording of it. And so I submitted those questions to Josh McKell. And this last Thursday, Josh and I did a Zoom meeting where he answered those questions. So what I'd like to do is take this first part of today's meeting and actually play you the Zoom conference call that I had with Josh, because it will answer all the questions that we've had. And then I'm sure it's going to generate some additional questions. Plus, there's a feature that Josh talks about that is going to become hugely important, especially for customers that we have that are on the Jumbo Jar and the Jumbo Jar Plus One. I'll talk more depth and detail after Josh is done with his presentation with me. But this feature that's not yet up there, but is coming, will basically allow us to adjust for anyone that's on the Jumbo Jar or the Jumbo Jar Plus One, be able to adjust so that they can stay on that and get the savings of 10% with free shipping and no handling fee. But we'll talk more about that after presentation. So let's go ahead and listen to my conversation that I had with Josh. So Josh, thanks for taking time. I sent you a list of questions. Do you want me to go through each question and you can give me the answers to them?
Yeah, let's go through each question. I think that would be best. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thanks. So Josh, the first question was, currently the Subscribe and Thrive is for 30 days. Are there going to be options to increase that to like 60 and 90 days?
Yeah, so the hope with this is right now in our system, each distributor can only have one template, which a template defines the auto ship. So what we're doing for the phase 3 is to allow for multiple templates. So what this will do is we can set it on different periodic shipments, and we can also set those periodic shipments based on the product. So for instance, if I am someone who takes Pro Arginine twice a day, maybe I want Pro Arginine bi-weekly. So I can set it to send bi-weekly, or I buy a 4-pack on the monthly basis, or whatever I choose to select. So the hope is that we'll be able to do 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, and so on. 2 months bi-monthly and 3 months is kind of the max that we would go, just so that people are qualifying for their auto ships. And especially for a distributor, right? We want you to be able to qualify and keep that bank volume and have those auto ships on. So that volume each month.
So the reason for this question is really for people, our customers who are getting the big Jumbo Jar, or they're getting the Jumbo Jar Plus One. Typically for individuals like that, if they're doing 2 scoops on a daily basis, then they're going to go through it every 3 months. For individuals that only do 1 scoop, it's like every 6 months. Now, I'm not looking for a 6-month program, but we've had a lot of people ask us if we can get a 90-day program, because then they could maybe, instead of doing the Jumbo Jar Plus One, just do the Jumbo Jar, get the 10% discount, the free shipping, no handling, and then set it up so that every 3 months they get their Jumbo Jar.
Yeah, so that's the intent. I will say that we're not looking to go above 3 months. Okay. That's kind of going to be our max interval that we would set. But we want to go from 2 weeks, so bi-weekly, month, bi-monthly, and 3 months are kind of the intervals in that drop down. And you can tell that we're prepping for it, right? There's that what looks like a drop down section, but you can only have 30 days. So the design is prepping us for this future integration.
And if I'm hearing you correctly, I'm seeing that this is something that's not going to be launched in this first quarter. It'll happen in the second quarter or third quarter.
Correct. Yeah. There's quite a bit that goes into it. Once we do this, it'll allow us though. So when you go to my subscription history, you have all of your products on the subscription right now.
Right.
But it'll allow you to have different variants of the subscription based on the product type. So like, let's say I have a jumbo on my subscription, but that comes every 3 months. But then my vitamin D3 comes every single month. So it'll show my full subscription page and then the frequency. So this one will deliver on April 3rd, and this one's going to deliver on February 3rd.
Okay. And that's going to like in the future. So for now,
yes, yeah, this
for
is
now,
more
all
like
we've got is 30 days.
Q2. Correct.
Okay. Now, is the free shipping and no handling for any size order? So like, even if I do like a vitamin D3, one of them, and I get that every 30 days, I still get the free shipping and no handling?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah. And we've, the handling fee was popping up still. So what we've done since we launched last week is we've actually zeroed out handling and changed the shipping to 13, and then it just discounts the 13. So it'll look a little bit different on the invoice. But yes, that's correct. If you just want D3, then we say subscribe and thrive, because we know our our products are potent and they're really effective. So we know that customers will enjoy it. And that's why we're willing to say, hey, we'll discount it at any rate. Because we know that you're going to want to keep taking our products.
Okay. All right. That's great. Now, is the CV going to stay the same even on the subscribe and thrive? You know, I've seen that in like my back office. I have a Jumbo Jar +1 is my monthly Autoship, which is now subscribe and thrive. They've already made the adjustment so that in February when I get it, I've got my 10% off and free shipping, no sales tax, or free shipping, no handling. And it still is at the 170 CV. So
that's correct.
Is the CV going to stay the same even on subscribe and thrive?
Yes, it is currently, and we don't intend on changing that. I think Synergy as a whole needs to review pricing in general and how we kind of build packs, but that's not any time in the immediate future. And it's good to always evaluate, especially after this COVID craze with manufacturing costs going up, with shipping costs going up. We're going to do more and more evaluations, but for right now, you're getting 10% off and the CV is staying the same, which is awesome. And like you said, you went in and you noticed it was already deducted for February. So anyone after this launch, it's an automatic application to those templates. You don't have to call in. It's automatically applied. You can check it here in your back office or on the website. And we did that because we didn't want to have people like opt into it. We figure most people are going to be okay getting a 10% savings plus free shipping.
Now, on my subscribe and thrive, I've got it for the Jumbo Jar +1 from Xperi. Can I increase that to like 3 of those on my subscribe and thrive to be able to take advantage of the 10%?
Yeah, I think some of our products do have limits. I believe that limit is closer. I want to say it's 10 quantity on the actual website. Anything above that, we would want to go through support just so we could identify it. But yeah, you can add multiple to that and you'll receive the same savings.
Great. Yeah, because I go through more than 3 of them on a monthly basis with my current client base.
Well,
so I'm going to go ahead and do that because that's just, that's a $72 savings. Plus I'm getting the same amount of CV. So I'm earning my elite rebates off of it. So that's fantastic to be able to do that.
It's a no-brainer. And the hope is too, people will be able to see the savings, like customers and distributors alike. They'll be able to see the savings, and maybe there's a product that they don't have on there because of the expense, right? But if I'm saving $16, maybe I'm adding that D3 onto my order. So it's a really good program, really exciting, and it's got great customer value as well.
Now you should be able to see my screen. So I've got this pulled up for the new site, and I have a couple questions for you. When I hover over the world, I can go to the UK. I see that North Korea's up there, but when North Korea comes up, there's no products on that. But on the UK, when I go to the UK, I can then see what's available in the UK. So my question is, do they get there's a 10% discount, but do they get free shipping in the UK?
Ooh, that's a good question. So that's a decision based on those business unit leaders. I believe that they are giving free shipping, but I don't know if there's an order threshold in the UK.
Okay.
I would need to figure out that answer and get back to you.
Because typically in the UK, it was value-added tax was all part of the rolled into the shipping fee. So whatever they charged you for shipping also included the value-added tax.
Right. Yeah. So that that could be the same case. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I can address the Korea. So Korea is getting ready for their rollout, and you saw it on there, and I believe it's still on there for a little bit. They're making some changes, which caused it to push to production on our end, but it's not actually displaying any actual products because people can't purchase yet. But you'll see that go off and on occasionally until they gear up for launch.
Okay. So a question that came up, which is regards to the old customer website that we have, that's the replicated one that starts out with our ID number. So in my case, 747-349.synergyworldwide.com. Now on the existing site, it's new. And
yes,
and Saturday I showed people that if you've got a person who's not an existing customer and they want to become a customer, you got to make sure that you give them your ID number, because the first screen that they go to, they're asked for your sponsor's ID numbers.
Correct.
In the future, will the new on this site be changed to a replicated site where it starts with my ID number and then identifies myself as Dan Hammer like the old sites do? And so is that what's going to happen in the future?
That's correct. And you should be able to type in your ID number .new.synergy worldwide, and it should keep the same affiliation link.
Really?
And yeah.
Can I try that?
Yeah, let's try it. Okay. So yeah, we'll get that fixed, because you should be able to have the same affiliations. It's just a different redirect.
Okay.
And in the future, the new will go away. So we'll have these in tandem, and then it'll just go to the straight synergyworldwide.com. And then it'll for sure be the same link that you're currently using. And this is the exact reason why we kept both sites live, because we knew that this first phase was just going to be about customers. And even going into the second and third phases, if there's bugs like that totally disrupt how you do your business, like, we want to have the other option available to send them there. So yeah, in this instance, this is good to know, and I can make a note with the team to have that affiliation link for the new website. But yeah, you'll want to provide them with your ID number, because they'll enter that.
Right.
And then I've talked about this on other calls, but the future of that enrollment will probably change the phrasing of distributor ID to referral ID.
Okay.
So enter in the ID number of whoever referred you, and anything that you send will auto-populate that referral ID in that column. So when I go and I say create an account, it'll auto-populate that ID number in there. It'll say referral ID, and it'll auto-populate, and then you go next. Just like a true affiliated link. Okay.
All right. Okay. And I assume you can change your subscribe and thrive products at any time. I didn't try and do it in my back office, but I did notice that I didn't have the ability to pause. I could cancel, but I didn't see any ability to pause my account.
Yes. Yeah, the pause feature we're still working on, and we're hoping that's not going to be phase 3, but phase 2.
Okay.
The ability to pause. And so for right now, if you want to pause, or let's say you do have a jumbo, but you're like, man, I only want this every 3 months, we can manually pause or override through customer support. But eventually that'll be managed in that little person icon as you go to subscription, manage my subscription. And that's where you can add new products, remove products, and you should be able to pause and cancel as well.
Okay. And I'm assuming that this new platform will be rolled out for all the countries that Synergy operates in?
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a slow rollout. So right now, obviously, Korea, you've kind of seen it pop up.
Right.
They're working on their rollout of phase 1 and a blend of phase 2. They wanted to kind of bundle more together in their initial rollout. And then the North America team, so myself and the Europe team are going to be slowly rolling out. So we'll have the US Spanish site that will roll out. We'll have the Canada site that will roll out. And then Europe is going to have each of their countries rolling out in a slow burn.
Okay. Now, someone asked me with regards to the Jumbo Jar Plus One, could a person activate the Subscribe and Thrive as a new customer, or even as an existing customer with Synergy Worldwide, so they could get the 10% discount, the free shipping and handling, and then decide a month later or before the next 30-day process occurred to cancel, and then be able to cancel it, but come back later on and redo it again without any penalties?
Yep, no penalty. I will say if people are canceling it and then re-upping frequently, it will flag in our system, and we'll make a notation of that. But yeah, no, there's no penalty if that's what they want to do. That could be an option as opposed to pausing in the interim as we're waiting for that pause feature in there.
Okay.
But yeah, we're confident enough in our products that we think people, once they subscribe, they'll stay on.
So on the pause part, when that comes into play, how long can they pause their next order?
It's being tossed around. I'm kind of landing at up to 11 months,
Okay.
and leaving it at that. That's pretty standard across a lot of subscription-based platforms. But there could be different intervals, right? You can choose, but I think 11 is going to be the max.
Okay, so here's my thinking, and you tell me if my thinking's off on this, because one of the things we need to do as distributors is explain to our customers how they can utilize this new system to their best advantage. So if I've got a customer who's on a Jumbo Jar Plus One, that's 210 servings, and they're only doing one serving on a daily basis, so that's basically 7 months. If the pause is in place, and let's say that the pause doesn't go longer than 7 months, even if you do 11 months, even 7 months, I could say, then put your account on pause for 7 months, and then it activates again, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it'll activate. It'll keep the same ship date that you currently have set up with that product, and it'll ship out on that interval. So let's say I pause it January 20th today, and I say pause for 7 months. It's going to re-up automatically in August.
That is fantastic feature, because now I don't have to worry about the interval with regards to, say, a person's on a Jumbo Jar or Jumbo Jar Plus One. Even if 90 days is the maximum that they can do on their automatic reship, the workaround that is to have them use the pause feature to be able to then, okay, how long do you go through that? Maybe a person's doing a scoop and a half and they're going through it in 4 months' time. We can then use the pause feature to then have them get their next order. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And pause feature, I mean, obviously we're really wanting to get that feature in, because to us, pause is better than cancel.
Correct.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We want it. We want the consumer to feel like they have the power, because they do, and they should, just like with any other service that we're used to. In North America, specifically the US, I mean, this is huge. If a consumer feels like they're oh my goodness, if a consumer feels like they're roped into something or they can't get out, they're less likely to get in. But if they feel like they're in control, they have power. Hey, I only take this product lasts me 4 months, or this product lasts me 7 months. This is how I'm going to be able to utilize this product, because I enjoy it, but I still want to feel comfortable and not be forced to call in every single month. Yeah.
And And what I'm hearing you say is that in the future, second quarter or third quarter at the latest, they'll be able to take every product that they want from Synergy Worldwide and set it up on its own Autoship program, where, maybe there's 3 products that they take every month, and there's 2 products that they take, like the Elements stuff, they or the new Lamara, they might not, do for 7 months type of thing. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, and they'll all keep the same ship date. So for the monthly intervals, they'll keep the same ship date. The only one that has us concerned or is in question is every 2 weeks. So that's the only one that potentially won't exist. And that's because it'll have a different ship date, which adds complexity to it. But yes, otherwise, you'll be able to have these different intervals. But let's say my date is set for the 20th to ship out, and I have Lamara every 3 months, but Pro Arginine every month. I can still expect that package to ship on the 20th every single month.
Okay. On the site itself, on the bestsellers, it looks like you've changed that so that Pro Arginine Plus shows up first for the bestseller. But when you click on View All, you don't get the Pro Arginine until the end. Like, we've got what I call the minor, some of the minor products up in the top.
Oh yeah.
And you've got to scroll all the way down to the end to get the Pro Arginine. Any way that we can reverse that, where we can put the products in order of their usage?
Yeah, it's in the works. I want to be able to have the power to rearrange these products. I mean, even if it was alphabetical, that would be better. One of the things you'll notice on the homepage too, that I want adjusted is on that bestsellers. If I click shop now, it takes me to the, if I click that shop now,
takes me to the page I just showed you.
If I scroll down to like that liquid chlor or the Mystica and I click shop now, it'll take me to the whole page that you were just at. Whereas if I click Mystica, like the icon, it takes me to Mystica's PDP. I want those to take me automatically to the PDP.
Okay.
So yes, I want to be able to rearrange those in a certain fashion. One of the features that we'll have is the filtration. Once you go to shop now, you'll be able to sort alphabetically. You'll be able to sort by most popular products. You'll be able to sort you'll be able to search by ingredient types, things like that. But yes, that feature's coming. It's a little bit of frustration for myself as well, but it will get fixed.
Okay. And then you can see that when I hover over the image for Mystica, the little finger comes up. Could we do the same thing when it comes down here for this whole thing for Pro Arginine? Because that way, if a person, doesn't see Pro Arginine Plus, but they're scrolling down, the first thing they see after that is Pro Arginine. And then, if this image or if this site here was a live link to the Pro Arginine page, then that would achieve the ability to go right to Pro Arginine Plus.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I'll connect with the team to see if we have a component. So that component is a text component and an image component, but I can see if we have a component that would allow for a click that would send us to.
And even if it's just
whatever product it is.
Right. And even if it's just the image component, that way, if my cursor's over here, just like it does up in here, if I'm in the middle here, it doesn't show anything. But if I go to Mystica, if I go over to E9, then, it tells me I've got a live link. And if I come down on the picture, live link, I can click right on Pro Arginine and go right to the Pro Arginine Plus page.
Good point. Yeah. Okay.
Or even putting an order button here for Pro Arginine Plus. Okay. Let's see, just a couple more to go. I had a person ask me that if you go to the new page for new customer, and you're asked to put in the distributors, your sponsor's number at some point in time, that's going to change to referral number. But let's say the person doesn't remember, that number or can't find my email. A suggestion, and I don't think this will work, and I'll tell you the reason why, but the suggestion would be having a search bar where a person could type in the name of the individual and their ID number would come up. Now for me, it's Dan Hammer Health Ltd. So maybe it would come up, but there's other people that have, a different name for their corporation. And so that's not always going to work. But again, that's something that was asked if that could be a feature in the future.
It's a really good question. And I will say that we explored it quite a bit. There are some privacy laws that make us hesitant to do it. And the reason being, even if let's say my business was 100 grand LLC. I mean, theoretically, we could still link it to where if I type in Josh McKell, 100 grand LLC would pop up. But not everyone wants their business known to be associated. There's some privacy issues that we need to figure out. But this has definitely been a big conversation, because rather than someone going through and then we reassign them later, come to find out, hey, maybe they did know someone, right? Whereas right now, like if someone calls in and they're like, I don't know who it is, we assign it to an individual based on the performance of the prior month. But we want to try and alleviate that, which is why we talked about this search feature. Maybe I can type in the name, or even I don't know anyone, but I can type in the area that I live in. And so we're trying to figure it out. We don't have a solution for it now. It is an active conversation. But there are some more nuances to it that make it a little bit difficult.
Okay.
We want to protect privacy.
Gotcha. Got two more questions. For some of the older distributors, there was a program called Autoship 100, and it looks like it's continuing in the new program with the 10% discount. The question is, will it continue in the future?
Yeah. It's a really lucrative program. It's an awesome Autoship. I currently don't have any intentions of removing it. However, if someone misses their Autoship 100
Correct.
or they go inactive, they're no longer using it.
Exactly.
They lose it.
Correct.
It's one of those grandfathered things. Hopefully in the future, we could find another benefit that maybe like equals it or matches it. But right now, no, there's no intention of taking it away. There's fewer and fewer people that are still on it.
Correct.
So I would say, yeah, just continue enjoying it.
Okay.
We appreciate that you've been on it for so long.
Okay. And then the last question I've got here is, at some point in time, will this new platform allow us to actually sign up distributors, or is it just going to be all customers? Yeah.
So phase 2 is all about distributors. So this is where we're going to migrate Pulse over into the new .synergyworldwide.com, because to go to your Pulse, you still have to go to the old website.
Correct.
The legacy website. So we're going to migrate Pulse over here so that you'll be able to log in just like you would see your dashboards. We also want to make like smart sign up links, like what you currently see with the Synergy app, the ability to send sign up links easily, the ability to share your cart. So we get a lot of requests for like, hey, you should build this product pack because it's perfect for this one very particular individual that I'm dealing with. And so Synergy has 2,000 SKUs of different packs and products, but we only have like 36 products themselves. So that's not good. We want to be able to minimize the back office so that our system is more robust and it's very responsive. And the more information that it's trying to compute through, slower it goes. So with that, I can build something in my cart. So let's say I add something in my cart, and then I can generate a link that shares it automatically with a person. And when they purchase that, it'll sign them up as a customer affiliated to you, so on and so forth. So phase 2 is about the distributor and the distributor experience. And then phase 3 is all about the affiliate link and then the final touches of the website. There's still some design features we want to enhance, some things we don't necessarily love about the layout. For instance, that component, being able to click it and go straight into shopping. We always want to push the consumer to shop. So there's going to be enhancements like that in phase 3. But phase 3 will also include the affiliate program, which is your customers being able to share their products and have their own referral ID that works a little bit different. They earn a different type of commission, a percentage of the original price that they shared. So yeah, phase 2, long answer, but hopefully a more in-depth answer to give background. Phase 2 is all about distributor and some of the distributor enhancements.
So two final things that I've got is on the the magnifying glass. When you click on it, then you get the search bar.
Yep.
I've got some individuals that would like it to be where the search bar is already up there, because sometimes the individuals that they're dealing with are not computer savvy and they wouldn't think to click on the search, on the magnifying glass to be able to then type in something. Whereas if you just had that there, typically people understand, okay, there's my search bar, I can type in something, and then, intuitively it's going to begin to pull up what I want.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I don't know if it does. It totally does. I think just from a market research standpoint, we really like the search feature being hidden until expanded. I think this might be something we just have to train people on. I don't foresee it changing in the future. However, there are different things that we could do. Perhaps on the shop page, is having an expanded bar all the way across that people can search for, especially since we have plans to really enhance the search features and making it robust through indexing of like our ingredients, searching for ingredients, flavors, things like that. It's a good comment. Yeah.
And then the last thing that I clicked on the little icon guy. So, when I first did this, I put in my ID number. It threw me off a little bit because if I put in my password, I've got to do is I've got to switch, because my password is tied to my email address. Then when I go next, this is what threw me off when I originally did this. I'll show you what happens. So I put in my password, I sign in, and this happened to me the first time and I was confused. I felt it wasn't working because I'm back on what looks like the home.
Oh, as opposed to your profile.
Correct, because now when I go over the little guy, my profile drops down. And then I knew, okay, now I'm actually in my back office through this one here in terms of I can see what my subscription and stuff. But it threw me off, and I was thinking like, okay, this isn't working. I got to let Josh know. But when I hovered over the guy, now I know that, yes, it is actually working.
Whereas it would be nice if it redirected you straight to your profile. That way, you're in.
Correct.
Okay, that's a really good comment. That may be something that I could fix quickly, but I'll get in and see.
Okay.
Where that redirect happens, or if that's something that I need to put in a request for.
Okay.
Good comment. I like that.
All right. I think that covers all the questions that I've gotten. It's just marvelous job so far. What you've shared with me, it's time that we have to wait for them to occur, but they are. I really love the pause feature. That pause feature works around all the monthly Autoship options, because you can use the pause feature the same way that you would use your monthly Autoship at 2 weeks, 30 days, month and a half, 2 months, 3, whatever those ones that you guys decide. Even if 3 months is the final one on a monthly Autoship, I can still use that pause feature and accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, Dan, and thanks for all the feedback and being so involved in the process of the website, and also sharing this with your teams. I hope it helps. And
it will. Absolutely.
If there's any other additional questions, I mean, you know how to reach me, and love to go through it. I'm just really, really excited for the future and the full optimization of the website. I think, it's going to really put us in a good position as a company.
Absolutely. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, so I know there's a couple questions in the chat box, but David, this was a recorded presentation, so I can't ask Josh live because he's not live, he's Memorex. So David, you had two questions here. Please ask what phase will include orders for shipping to a Mexico address. And if you may or may not have been on it at the time, but what Josh talked about, that they're going to be working on the Mexico website rollout next, and I would assume that would be sometime in this first quarter, as well as for Canada. So the goal of Synergy Worldwide is to have this new customer website for all the countries that it operates in. And Josh is in charge of North America, which means that he's in charge of the United States, where we have the current customer website, Mexico and Canada. And I'm going to assume, because the way that he talked about it, that Mexico is the higher priority than Canada, because there's a lot of growth and stuff going on in Mexico. So that will be the next one that they'll hope to have up in this first quarter, and then Canada. And then you had a question, is there a mechanism to activate? Is mechanism active to provide alerts for expired customer credit cards? A good question. No one asked that. I know that he's talked about this in the past, where people will get alerted when their credit cards are about to expire. And the alert process from my previous conversations with Josh was that it would start 30 days prior to the expiration date of their card. And then they would be notified on a weekly basis until I think it was 2 weeks prior to it. And then they would be notified on a daily basis to let them know. And the notification would come, again, in my conversations with him previously, those notifications would come by email and by text. So if they have the person's email address, they would get an email letting them know that their credit card was about to expire, as well as if they have their phone number, they would also get that by text, because people don't always pay attention to their emails, or that email may be looked at as spam, go into their spam account and they wouldn't see it, but typically they would get it as a text. And then I can revisit with Josh with regards to that, or we can talk to Josh directly next week when we're in Costa Rica together with him and be able to ask that question.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, you're welcome, David. Any other questions that I have from people with regards to what you saw, your impressions, any comments that you would like to make?
So Dan, this is Bob. So it sounds like what we're going to want to do with our jumbo in a box customers is go ahead and have them sign up. Then they'll need to call customer service after they've received that first order and ask customer service to put it on pause. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Not unsubscribe. It'd be easier to just call and pause.
Correct. Okay. So you can, so you're very good about that, Bob. So the first workaround on this is that we can have our existing customers take advantage of Subscribe and Thrive, and then either three-way them into Synergy Worldwide or give them the phone number for Synergy Worldwide so that they can call customer service directly and then ask them to pause it based upon the number of months that they, you go through their product. Eventually, we'll be able to do this right with a person when they sign up. We can help them understand how they can, if it's a new customer, how they're going to take the product and when to be able to get their next jumbo jar plus one. And if it's past the 90-day program, then we would use the pause feature and have them pause it for like 4 months or 5 months based upon how they're going to use the product. And then for our existing customers, be able to help them go in and take advantage of the new Subscribe and Thrive, and then set up their pause on the website through their back office. I think, to me, the pause is such a huge feature to have, and it gives a complete workaround on the 30, 60, and 90 days for your auto ship, because again, on a jumbo jar or a jumbo jar plus one, some people will go through it in 90 days, but the vast majority of people don't. And so this new pause feature is just ideal for helping them get savings, helps us because we don't have to worry about them remembering to call in their order to Synergy Worldwide. It's just going to happen automatically through the pause program. Anyone else with any questions or comments with regards to what you saw today?
This is Dr. Brooks.
Yes, Dr. Brooks.
I'm sorry I got on a little bit late this morning, but I must have missed. Is this taking the place of the personal website that we already have?
Okay, so Josh talked about that, and with regards to it, the existing replicated website is staying up for now. You should be, and I didn't try it today. In fact, I can try it now because we are live, but see if I can open up a window here. For some reason, let me get rid of this here.
And for some reason, I can't pull up the new website, but I can get my regular website up.
Sure. Okay. So the existing replicated website that's tied to your ID number will continue to exist. At some point in time, they're going to allow us to put in our ID number .new.synergyworldwide.com and go to this website, and eventually the new will be taken out once all the other countries are up and operational. They'll eventually do it where the new website for the customers will migrate to your old customer website. So like in my case, it's 747.349.synergyworldwide.com. Eventually this new site will be merged into that ID number, that URL. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it does.
Okay, good. Anyone else with anything?
Hey, Dan, this is David again.
Yes, David.
And I, like Dr. Burt's, and guilty of getting in a little late. So that's why I didn't notice it was a recorded call. But I just want to say, Dan, that thank you for the quality of questions that you asked Josh, and the work you did to really filter out a lot of the obvious stuff that we didn't think about and that are clarified. So I appreciate your work in doing this. And I'm sure there'll be other questions, but I think for the most part, I'm very happy with the review that you went through us today. So I appreciate that.
Well, thanks, David. And I'm excited about this new site, and I'm more excited about the upcoming changes. This site is a good first step in improving our customer experience. But the things that Josh talked about in this interview I had with him, it's just exciting, some of the things that are planned and that are in the process of being developed so that we can have a very robust customer website that also allows us to sign up distributors, that also allows us to send direct links for people that are interested in products, that we can send them a direct link to a subscribe and save and be able to help them shortcut the process, get themselves set up. You know, there's just a lot of exciting things that are going to happen. We just got to be patient over the next 6 to 8 months to see these things get put in place so that we can really drive our customer acquisition. The future I see with this is the ability to take all my existing customers that I now send jumbo jars or jumbo jar plus ones to, and be able to convert every one of them into the new customer experience with Synergy Worldwide. Once the pause feature is up and operational, be able to help them get a discount that I cannot give to them, and at the same time be able to structure their account so that it meets their product usage, so that they don't have to keep calling me, you know, or remember to call me to get their orders, but rather they will get their orders through the pause program on this new platform. It will increase total volume, and and once the affiliate program's in place, it also will give them a reason to be able to share their experience of being able to get product, be able to get a 10% discount, be able to get free shipping and handling, and be able to get a benefit on a referral that they can share with another person and have the experience of knowing how to set up their pause program so that they can help their friends and family be able to do the same thing. I see a huge potential in the amount of customer volume through this platform as Synergy continues to make the improvements for it. Anyone
I agree
else?
with you, Dan. You know, I think it was a long time coming for this dynamics of this type of website. It puts us on a competitive, at least a competitive platform with a lot of other companies that have websites that are up to date. And on top of that, I think it gives us a competitive edge for the future because we have the benefits of having a person like Josh, who I feel is really technically savvy with the younger generation of what they're looking for.
Yes.
And so I'm excited too. I'm excited to see the future of this.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, David. Anyone else before we say goodbye? Someone put something in the chat box. You're welcome, Bob. Everyone have a blessed Saturday, and we will talk to you next week. And we'll leave it at that. Take care, everyone. Have a blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.